Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Zanut here. Well, here it is, a new build log for you. This is going to be a water-cooled build based on the Case Labs new Mini-ITX box, the Mercury S3. So first, big thanks to Case Labs for sponsoring the case. And as you can see, it's not just the case itself, it also has one of the options, which is the Pedestal Base, that allows you to have some more cooling. Now I'm going to have a separate video on that and show you everything about that and all of the options and pieces that that I have for it. So I'm not going to go into detail, but that is what this build is going to go into. Again, that's the Case Labs Mercury S3. And if you can tell here, hopefully this camera does it justice, that is a metallic silver. So that's not a primer gray, that's actually a metallic silver paint, a custom paint job that Case Labs had some of, and they were able to do that for me. So unless somebody else gets one painted themselves, this should be the only one you see in metallic silver. So I'm really honored that that they would do that for me. So let me take you through all the pieces in the build, and as I normally do, when I actually get into the build, if it's a significant item that I haven't already reviewed, or if there aren't already a million of them out there, I will go through an unboxing and I will do a review on it for you. Otherwise, you'll get to see all the detail when I am actually building it, and you know, I do the cutaway to actually assembling it and all that. So that's when you'll get all the meat and potatoes of each of the pieces. So with that, let me start to get the camera over here and take you up close through each of the elements of the build, and I'll talk a little bit about them. So I hope you're going to like this. I'm kind of psyched about it, and there's a couple of things that are brand new for me that I'm going to be doing in this build, and I'll take you through those as I highlight them. So what I think I'll do is we'll start off over here with the fan controller and the fans that'll be going into this build. One of the key driving forces was a silver faceplate. Now I decided to go with this fan controller and not do an Aquaro again. I've already done the Aquaro, and that's a great controller and I really like it. But this one I wanted to, since it's going to be a desktop close to you, having a display was important, and so I'm going to use the Lantron FC6 with the silver faceplate. I think that's going to look good in there. The fans that I chose, I only have 6 fans to control in this build. The 120 millimeter fans you see there are the new Cougar Dual X fans. They're excellent fans, and my plan is to put those 2 here in the front. Not sure if I'm going to put a rad behind it there. That's something we're going to figure that out, and we'll figure that out together when I go through the build process. But I have a couple of fans. They are great for radiators as well, but they have a nice blue, beautiful blue color, and they light up great. So I think that's what's going to go in the front. That's my plan. And then I have 4 Apache Black 140 millimeter fans. They're quiet and great performers, and my plan is to put those on a couple of radiators that I'm going to be putting in the pedestal. So so that's the fan and the fan controller choice. One thing that you should note, the case, I will show you in, like I said, in a review, I have full windows on the side, on either side of the S3, and actually there is a window on the top as well. So as you can see, this case is, for me, is going to be all about showing off what's on the inside, and that's the primary reason why I got the pedestal, because you don't have a lot of space in there, and if you're going to stuff it full of radiators and water cooling stuff, there's you know, it's going to be pretty packed up. So most of the water cooling prowess is going to be all on the bottom there. So I want to show off the other pieces that are on the side. So one of the things that I'll be showing off is this Mini-ITX build has quite a bit of capacity for putting SSDs in it. And so I've got 4 there. I may not use all 4 of those 120 Vertexes, but I got them to use them as I wish. So you'll see the options for this case and where they can be put. So I'll show you that. Now, something new for me here, here's the hard drive. We will have an OS drive, probably something at least in a RAID on the SSD. But for the data storage, I've got a 2 terabyte Seagate hard drive But one of the things I'm going to try this time, totally for bling, is an acrylic top hard disk water cooler. So basically, I'll show you that when I unbox it, but that mounts on top of the hard drive, of course with the, the cooling chamber that brings the heat off of the hard drive through the cooler. So again, I mean, probably not many of you have had water coolers on your hard drives. I've never done it before. So this is going to be a first. I'm going to put a water cooling block on a hard drive, and because I have all the window space, that's really the main reason why I'm going to do it, so you can see it. So we're going to show that off. That block looks pretty sharp. I'll show you that when I do the unboxing. Let's move over to something else that's new is the power supply I've used before. That's my standard basic fully modular Seasonic X750, and what you see on the top there is some wire and of course some pins. So one of the key things in keeping a build like this clean is to reduce clutter in cables, and like I said, there's not a lot of space for that. So in order to do that, I'm going to embark on doing my very first sleeving of the power supply cables. So basically I'll be making my own, and then so I have just a sample of some wire there and the pins that I'll be using to make new cables. But what I'm going to use is some MDPC-X sleeving on them. So I'm going to make them exactly how long I need them, so that'll be a nice and clean. And like I told you, and I don't know if I mentioned the color scheme, is going to be black, silver, and blue. I believe I'm going to have some blue coolant in the unit, so I believe that's what I'm going to go with. If not, it'll at least be black and silver. But so that looks like some excellent sleeving. I actually ordered it from Germany. It's the only place you can get it. And I also have some for SATA cables as well. So that's going to be new for me, so that might take a little bit of time. But it's going to be worth it. All the stuff that I've seen other people using it really comes out phenomenal. So yep, Seasonic X750 power supply with custom sleeve and custom length cables. Next up, let's talk about the video card. It's the EVGA signature edition of the Geforce Gtx Titan. If you may have seen my video on Clash of the Titans, that's the video card I'm going to use it. That box is massive because it's the super clocked edition that came with some extras like a mouse pad and a t-shirt. So that's the card that's going into this build, and it has the EKFC nickel plexi water block I'm going to be using with the back plate. So that should look pretty sharp. That's going to be nice in this build and showing out one of the big windows on this case. Next thing let's take a look at is the motherboard. ASRock C77E ITX motherboard. It's a great little motherboard, perfect for this, and it is black and silver. So the color scheme works perfectly with my build here. The processor that's going to be on it is the Intel i5 3570K chip. It's a good chip. Overclocks well and won't hold back that graphics card. And then we have here the water blocks that are going to go on this chip. I have choice of two, so I will be asking you guys on Facebook when we get through this to take a look at pictures of it and tell me what you think, which one will work. I have a nickel plexi version. It's got the smoke rings on it, which I really don't like, but I do have some videos, and I have some polish. I think I'm going to do is polish those clear. So I think that's one option. The other option is to use the full nickel block, and so that is like basically all shiny silver. So that might actually look better in here, but I'm not sure yet. So I'll be asking some of your guys' opinions as well. So be on the lookout for that on Facebook. And anyway, so let's see. From the CPU block, we'll talk about RAM, and the RAM that's going to go into this build is the G.Skill Ripjaws RAM. That's 2133 megahertz RAM. That's 16 gigabytes of memory, 2 8 gig modules, and I'm going to water cool that. In order to water cool those, you have to discard those heat sinks and mount the EK-RAM Dominator module heat sinks on them, and you do that so that it can accommodate the EK-RAM Dominator water blocks. Now the beauty of these EK-RAM Dominator skins that you can put on them is that allows you to use this water block for it. So no longer are you limited only to the Corsair Dominator RAM, you can use any RAM now. So that's what I decided to do. And the other thing to note is this water block is also the CSQ smoked rings on it. And again, I don't really care for that, so I will be polishing that smoke off of that on that block so that you can see the coolant more clearly. That'll be running through it. I think it looks better. So from the RAM, we'll go over to some of the radiators that are going into this build. I've got two Nexus UT60 full copper radiators, the 280 millimeter size, and those two puppies are going to be going into the pedestal base on either side. That pedestal has a mount on each side that'll accept, you know, 120 by 2 or 140 by 2 radiators, and that's what we got going in. Those are pretty thick. They're 60 mil thick, so that's going to be interesting to get the spacing and the pump and all that stuff down there. But I'm up for the challenge, and you guys will see that, and you may have to help me through it. But we're going to do that. And then the other thing I have back there is a really nice XSPC AX240. Now, I really like that rad. I'll show you that when I open it up. But it's a silver one, and it's got an excellent skin on it, and it's also copper rad, so it's really distinguished. Now, that would be perfect to go right here in the front, but with the plans for the reservoirs that I'm going to put in here, I don't think I'm going to do that. But I have that as an option, and I'll show you guys that, and we'll talk about it. And in the future, I might actually wind up, you know, using that in this build at some other time. But we'll work through that. Again, I'll put some pictures up on Facebook when we get to that and ask your opinion. So keep an eye out for that. And then let's get to all of the big water cooling pieces in this. You see a tremendous amount of bits power fitting. So that's pretty much all I have in here. There are a couple of oddball things based on what I plan to do. But that little case, right now I'm going to embark on putting dual reservoirs in there. So that's going to be a challenge. I've got a couple of 150s. They're clear, and they're going to be designed in such a way that they're going to come down to one pump. And I don't have a dual top that feeds one pump. I actually look for something like that. So with all of these fittings and with that long tubing, that's E22 tubing that I get to cut to the lengths that I absolutely need, I had already drafted up and planned in all of this to make a custom dual res setup inside of this case. So tons of fittings, crystal link adapters, E22 tubing, 250 millimeter clear reses with a clear top and a black base, because that's going to be in the bottom. You won't see the mod kit. That'll be in the base of the pedestal. But that's currently the plan for that. So that's new for me too. I've not used the E22 tubing yet. So I got a couple long links of that. And the idea is really I plan to, all of the connections in this case were going to be with that E22. So if I can get away with it, I don't plan on using any quarter inch, I'm sorry, any half inch by 3/4 inch tubing. It's all going to be the E22 acrylic tubing. And then also, while we're talking about custom modding, you'll see back there some Metro restyling. That's some D-Knock, and I've got it in silver and black. So I'm not sure what pieces are going to be coated with that, but some pieces in this build will be coated with that. So I think I covered all of it. One of the things that I was able to find that I needed was a multiple PWM fan splitter, and I needed a 4 or 5 splitter, and of course those are, you don't find those easily, and Performance PCs of course carried it. So I got that. They actually sponsored that, and also a nice unique MDPC-X fan grill, 120 millimeter fan grill. That's stainless steel black, and that's going to be cool. They sponsored those two along with all of the fans in this build. So and then of course all of the other water cooling gear you can buy at Performance PCs. That's where I get all my stuff. And well, I think that's it. I think I covered everything that's going to this build. I hope you guys like it and are excited about it. Again, a couple of new things for me will be sleeving, making my own cables and sleeving my own cables using that $1 million PC sleeving. So that's going to be interesting, and I probably won't show you, me fumbling, learning how to do it right, but I will focus and get hopefully a nice quality set of cables for this build. And then the other part that is new for me is the E22 acrylic tubing. I'll be using that hopefully throughout the whole build and not have to use any other tubing, but we'll see. And if I can get it down, I'm going to try to actually, bend some of that stuff. So that's going to be new and unique for me anyway. So guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like it and please favorite. And if you're so inclined, please subscribe. That's it from Ron the Nut. Stay tuned.